Is it worth it? Now, recently there was a video that went viral. It was the music video for Doja Cat's song "Paint the Town Red." Lyrics themselves wasn't openly demonic or anything crazy like that, but it was the visuals that made it go viral. That got everybody talking about it because I'll probably throw up a screenshot of her still in the video right now, but she's dancing and doing stuff with what looks like a devil or some type of demonic figure. So, whatever. But there was one part in particular that caught my eye that I wanted to share, and it really is the inspiration for this entire video. In particular, out of the chorus, she says, "Cause B, I said what I said," B being the B word. I'm trying not to cuss and stuff. "Because B, I said what I said, I'd rather be famous instead." And me personally, I'm good at English, so I pay attention to sentence structure and things of that nature. And one of the things that I took away from this is, instead of what? You say, "I'd rather be famous instead," or "I'd rather be tall instead," or "I'd rather have money instead." When you say instead, you're putting that instead of something else, right? You're implying that you're forfeiting something to get this thing. So when she says, "I'd rather be famous instead," what is she thinking of? What is she forfeiting instead of fame? Me personally, I'm a Christian, I'm a believer in God. So I take this and couple that with the demonic imagery and the satanic worship in the music. And it kind of obvious is to me, I'm gonna just say it for flat out, it sounds like she's selling her soul. She sold her soul, Now your soul it's not yours to sell necessarily. It's not like you could physically have a transaction, but in this case, it's, she's passing over, she's forsaking God and everything. Instead of following the way, she's following the fame and the fortune and things of that nature. But that was the overall message, the overall theme I wanted to make of this video is it worth it? Is the money, the fame, the whatever this thing is it worth sacrificing what you might have to sacrifice to get there? These days, people are willing to sacrifice all kind of things for money and fame, right? And the thing is, why I kind of group money and fame together is most of people aren't willing to just be famous. They want to be famous because it comes to money. So to me, when I see Doja Cat say, "I'd rather be famous instead," it means rich and famous. It's not just famous, but I'll probably use those synonymously. But the whole point is, we got people these days that are sacrificing their dignity, their self-worth to get on TikTok as an NPC streamer and gang for money. You know what I'm saying? So is it worth it? Because you got to think about it. In 10, 20 years, you might have kids, grandkids, other people are still able to view these videos, still able to view this content of you degrading yourself for money, basically being a sex bot for money. Aside from your own dignity, there's a lot of things that you're sacrificing when you say, "I'd rather be famous instead." You're sacrificing things like privacy, the fact that if you get to a certain level of fame, people around you will have to deal with that as well. Now, obviously, there's the blessings and the ability to do stuff for those people, but it's also the fact that now so-and-so is going to be related to this famous person, and so their life might get put on Front Street in a way that they didn't necessarily sign up for. And being the famous person or being the star, the one in the spotlight, you have to deal with that. You have to reconcile the fact that you affect other people's lives. The fact that you're forfeiting the opportunity to just be a real person, to be a normal person. You can't just go to the grocery store. You can't just go do normal things. And like a regular person, you can't make your mistakes. You're gonna be on Front Street every single time you make your mistake. So it's that double-edged sword. Because not only are you gonna be the famous person, you're gonna be praised and worshiped practically like a god. But when you do make a mistake, when you do have a scandal, when you do have an embarrassing moment, it's gonna be out there for everybody to see. And that's something that not everybody is accounted for, or not everybody's thinking about when they say they want to be famous. You got to think about things like the people you encounter, the people you run into. Are they having the best intentions at heart? Do they really know you as a person? Do they want to really care about you as a person? Or do they see you for your money or for your status or for whatever nefarious or other kind of reason? Like, why? You have to question that. When you're a normal person, you don't really have to question that as much, because that layer of, is this person genuine, ain't really all there like that. And even with the Doja Cat situation, I don't know the woman personally, but is it worth possibly sacrificing your own morals and values and who you deem yourself as a person, what you consider to be sacred? Is it worth it? Is it worth foregoing things and possibly doing things that you're not comfortable with? Because we don't know, maybe she behind the scenes, she really just get down like this, or maybe this is a label tactic and they forcing this on her. But the thing is about being famous and being rich or worshiping those things, making an idol out of money, worshiping money, is you will go down a rabbit hole and you will go down a path where eventually you're gonna have to do something where you have to make a decision. Either it's gonna be you all in on the bag and getting the money, or some things you got to turn down. Because I learned this as a young child: all money ain't good money. You know, if you have to change who you are or something about it, to me, that's just not it. And so this type of conversation is something that I'm personally, even in this YouTube and streaming journey and everything, I'm kind of dealing with. Because on one hand, you know, obviously it'd be beautiful to be able to make this a career. I get to work from home, I could travel more, I could actually have what I consider YouTube and Twitch and everything, like having a digital brand, as digital real estate. Because not only is it can be passive income, you can have a video from years ago you made still making you money. There's just more to it. That obviously, like a lot of people these days, they grow up, they want to be a YouTuber, they want to be an influencer, they want to be they want to have some level of fame. So I have that on one hand. Obviously, it would be nicer than working a regular 9-to-5 job where I'm, you know, having to actually physically work. But on the other hand, you got to think about, what do you have to do to get there? And is it worth it? Is that something that you want to do? You know, obviously it takes a lot of work, but once you do start to, if you are able to, or if you're lucky enough to get there, to get to a point where you're able to live off of this, what might you have to do to keep your name up? What might you have to do to stay relevant, to get views, to do things? And it's difficult, because I feel like it's easy to take the easy way out. And I want to establish a brand in a way that people can resonate with me, but also I don't have to be fake just for some money. You know what I'm saying? I want every word that comes out of my mouth to be true, to be something I believe in. That's something I've wrestled with before. And now I think I have my answer to the question: is it worth it? I think it is, yes. But not for the reason that most people would say. And it comes with a little bit of a caveat. To me, I think it's worth it because I always intend and I strive to make God the centerpiece of my life. But having God, and even if you're not necessarily religious, if you're atheist or agnostic or whatever you believe in, if you have your morals and values be the centerpiece and that be the rock that you lean on as far as your belief system, as far as your decision making, then no matter how famous you get, no matter how much money you get, no matter how far you go, you'll never divert too far away from that, because you'll always have a path. You'll always have a North Star that's guiding you, that's illuminating your path, and you'll know when you're walking in the right path or not. To me, that path is following Jesus. That path is the path to righteousness. You know, it's walking in the light. And to other people, that may be some other thing. But I think that's the most important thing we have to ask ourselves: is it worth it? Is what I'm doing in alignment with who I want to be and where I want to go? Peace and love.